Yes.
As the court pleases, my lord, we are indebted to the court for the indulgence. My lord, we did bring the letter to the attention of the head of CMEX, Mr. Mashabataka, as well as the area commissioner. Both of them are here, my lord. And in terms of the privileges that are requested in the letter, they've indicated that they are unable to meet accused number 3 in terms of those privileges.
You should remember, I haven't seen...
Yes, I'm aware, my lord. Okay. And I've indicated to Advocate Tifo that perhaps we should hand a copy of the letter to the court, and I think subject to correction, confirmation by Advocate Tifo, he indicated that we can hand up a copy to the of the letter to the court. We will just have to agree as to how the evidence will be placed before court.
Yes.
Can the letter then be handed up formally? I don't know whether it will be necessary to give it an exhibit number, but given that it's an ad hoc issue, my lord, I don't think it's necessary to burden the record with further documentation. We will then allow the applicant to bring his case, and thereafter the state will then call the head of prison.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Advocate Defo.
Yes, Lordship. I can confirm, Your Lordship. I can call upon accused number 3 to come in the stand.
Yes.
Lordship, indeed, I met with Advocate Valoi. We were at his office during this adjournment, and then whatever he said, I hereby confirm. And now I will direct my attention and the attention of the court to accused number 3, who is in the box now. He will have to explain his situation, and that will be interpreted and then where the state witnesses, being the present authority, having disagreement, they will relate that. Thereafter, having had both sides of the applicant and the state and the present authority, then the decision will be made by this honorable court. I hope it's in order, Your Lordship.
Yes.
Thank you. Carlos, you'll have to explain this court.
Yeah, you can say.
Igama lakho nesibongo mfethu.
Mthobisi Prince Mncube.
Mthobisi Prince Mncube.
Do you have any objection in taking a prescribed oath?
Uyimisela ukuthatha isifungo noma khona okuvimbayo ukuthi uthathe isifungo?
Hayi anginankinga.
No objection.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth? If so, kindly raise your right hand and say so help me God.
Uyafunga ukuthi ubufakazi. Stop now. Uyafunga ukuthi ubufakazi ozonikeza ngabo lana buzoba iqiniso lodwa futhi iqiniso eliphelele uma ngabe kunjalo phakamise isandla sakho sokudla uthi inkosi ngisize ngikhuluma iqiniso.
Ngizongisiza ngikhuluma iqiniso.
Thank you.
Before you lead him,
Yes.
I have this letter here, and I have quickly gone through it.
Yes.
And I want to hope that you are not going to lead him to repeat what is in the letter, as opposed to us going the route we were going, to have this letter read into the record, and then checking whether you have anything to add on it.
Not at all, Your Lordship. What's going to happen, it will just be that, as he's the author himself of this letter, and you know his problem that is encountering. I'll just say then the rest he will just elaborate.
In that case, will somebody read the letter into the record?
So that somebody will be me, Your Lordship. And on behalf of the applicant, Your Lordship, I will just apologize, as is a layperson, for demotion, calling you are his worship. In actual fact, you are lordship. I put my neck on the block on his behalf. I've got a thick neck. To his lordship, Mr. Chifiwa Maumela, the Honorable Judge, North Gauteng High Court, Pretoria. Dear sir, subject, court case number CC 67/20. I am the accused in the above matter presently before this court. I write to bring to the attention of this court and further place on record the inhuman condition under which I am being incarcerated, which conditions inevitably adversely impact on the fairness of my trial in the above criminal matter. By virtue of my incarceration in Pretoria, C-Max prison, I am barred from listening to the news and current affairs, and from receiving books, newspapers, etc., etc. I'm daily incarcerated in solitary confinement for a minimum of 23 hours, allowed only 1 hour exercise, allowed for 5 minutes calls per month to my family, because the phones used by inmates have been broken since last year, October, and are still unfixed, which makes it difficult for me to contact even my legal representative. I'm held in mechanical restraint. Once outside my cell for any reason, including going to visit, I try to request the head of center for at least a radio, and that he allow us to buy food from the shop, because the food we are getting is not fit for an adult person or for human consumption. But he never even responded to my request. It been almost a month since I have requested. Under the circumstances in which I am presently incarcerated, it has become near impossible for me to concentrate on my ongoing trial for an alleged crime, in which regard my right to a fair trial will be breached should this court continue with hearing of the above matter, whilst I remain so incarcerated. It was accepted by the court in State versus Zwelibanzi and other. (2005), open brackets 2, close brackets 2, SARC South African Criminal (484) Eastern Cape matter, that the concept of a fair trial is not only limited to what happens in court, but includes the situation where the accused is unable to give the required attention to the trial due to distracting factors, including difficulties experienced with his accommodation, etc., etc. My daily incarceration in solitary confinement for a minimum of 23 hours is in clear disregard of the relevant provisions of the Correctional Services Act and the South African Bill of Rights. Furthermore, there is no provisions in Correctional Services Act which condones such inhuman treatment as I am daily subjected to. Being indigent and further faced with matter of a more pressing nature, I'm unable to approach a high court to seek redress. The Correctional Service Department blatantly breach of my rights in Section 12 and Section 35, subsection 2, paragraph E and F, and Section 35, subsection 3 of the Constitution, and thus hereby respectfully ask that in the interest of justice, the court intervene. Respectfully, yours, Mtobisi Prince Mmude. This is the contents of this letter, Your Lordship. Ozuyele Prince.
You understand?
Yeah,
Yes, although I'm not good with English, but yes, I heard.
So, are you consciously relate yourself with the contents of this letter?
Uthi-ke ngokuphelele wena-ke uyihlanganise nalokuyana kubhalwe laphayana amagama ukuthi kuphuma kuwena.
Yeah, kuphuma kimi.
That is indeed correct. Comes from me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Would you want this to be interpreted to you wholly?
Ingaba ufisa ukuthi le ncwadi ke uyihunyishele ngokuphelele noma uyitolikele ngokuphelele le ncwadi eqeda ufundwa manje?
Yebo ngidoleke.
Yes, you can interpret for me.
Do you have the same?
No.
Can I take a seat, Your Lordship, while in the meantime the letter has been interpreted in Zulu to the applicant?
Yes.
Bhalwe amagama akho laphayana phezulu nokuthi ke useHoshimampuru khona la ePretoria eCMEX Center idate ile yanamuhla ke 12 July 2022 futhi ke incwadi ke ibhalwe kuyena ke uhlonipheki ujaji. Ngiyumangalela kuleli cala leli ke elichaziwe lana ke liuCC 6720 phambi kwalenkantolo. Ngibhala ke ngesifiso sokuthi ngilethe noma ngazise kulenkantolo futhi ke izimo ezingekho zinhle engivalelwe ngaphansi kwazo futhi ke nezinomthelela ekuthini ke ngingabi noma ke umqondo wami ungabikho ngokuphelele ekubhekaneni necala leli engiphambi kwalo enkantolo. Ngokuvalelwa kwami ke ePretoria eCMEX prison ngiyavinjwa ke ukuthi ngilalele indaba futhi ke ngilandele nalokho okwenzekayo nokuthi ngithole incwadi ngithola amaphepha noma amaphephandaba nokunye futhi ngivalelwa ke njalo ke ngivalelwa ngingedwa isikhathi esingangamahora awu-23 la ngivunyelwa khona ke ihora lodwa lokuthi ngilolonge noma ngi-exercise imizuzu emina noma emihlanu yokuthi ngenze noma ngishaye ucingo ngenyanga ngishayela ke umndeni wami ngoba iy'ncingo ezisetshenziswa yiboshwa zaphulwa ke noma zophulwa kusukela ngonyaka ondlule ngo-October futhi ke ayikalungiswa kuze kube manje okwenza ukuthi ke isimo sibe nzima ke kumina ukuthi ngixhumane noma ngixhumane ke nommeli wami uma ke sengingaphandle ke eseleni sami noma ngasiphi isizathu noma ke ngiphumela ukuthi ngizobonwa ngizamileke ukuthi ngicele ukuthi owengamele ijele ukuthi nje ngithole noma ke i-radio nokuthi azivumeleke ukuthi siyothenga ukudla siyokuthenga esitolo ngoba ke ukudla
this cell phone is making sound for the second time, if I'm not mistaken. Can the owner and the phone go out, please?
Ukuthi ke siyothenga ukudla ezitolo ngoba ke ukudla esikutholayo ke ngaphakathi ke akona ukudla okusesimeni ukuthi ke kungadliwa umuntu kodwa ke akakaze nje aphendule kwisicelo sami futhi ke sekuyinyanga ke manje ngasenza leso sicelo leso phansi kwezimo ke engivalelwe phansi kwazo angikwazi ke ukuthi ngathi ke ngibhekisise ngokuphelele icala futhi ke namacala lawo ke engibethwesiwe futhi nokuthi ke icala lami ke ngilihambe noma ngililalele noma ngililandele kahle. Isinqumo ke esathathwa yinkantolo kwicala lakhe uZwelibanzi kanye futhi nabanye ngo-2005 to SACR la kushiwo khona ke ukuthi umangalelwa ke ukuze ahambe noma icala lakhe ke alalelisise noma liqhulwe ngendlela efanele ibhekwe ke lokho okwenzekayo enkantolo kodwa ke lokho kufaka nesimo la khona ke umangalela engakwazi ke ukuthi abheke noma ahambele icala lakhe kahle noma kungekho nje okumphazamisayo ngokufanele noma ngokuhlangana nendlela athi avalelwe ngakhona. Ukuvalelwa kwami ke ngivalelwa ngingedwa futhi-ke isikhathi esingangamahora ama23. Lokho-ke kuyatshengisa-ke nje ukuthi kutshengisa ngokomthetho wezasemajele kanye futhi-ke ne-Bill of Rights. Okunye futhi-ke nesibonelelo-ke sakhona e-Correctional Services Act esiphakamisa-ke ukuthi indlela noma izimo ezifana nalezi ayivumelekile. Ngicela-ke futhi angikwazi-ke ukuthi ngiye kwinkantolo ephakeme futhi-ke ngidlulise lona-ke lecala-ke noma ngichaze bona-ke abakwa-Correctional Service Department ngendlela-ke abenza ngayo ukuthi-ke amalungelo ami angifanele ngingawatholi ngendlela abangivalele ngayo. Wasebhala-ke ngaphansi igama lakho uMthobisi Nqubo.
Thank you. Therefore, as you have said, and it has been read to you in the language that you better understand and understood. Therefore, can you explain to this court which of your constitutional human rights, as yourself being accused, incarcerated in that place you have mentioned, are being violated, and how do you need to be resolved, for the lack of better word to say?
Njengoba-ke incwadi lena isifundiwe-ke ngolimi oluzwayo noma lolu-ke olukhulumayo futhi usuchazile-ke lana imaphi-ke uma wena-ke ungayisho lo ngawapha amagama noma ngawapha amazwi-ke la malungelo akho-ke othi-ke iwona-ke ongawatholi futhi-ke isiphi isixazululo noma ufisa ukuthi-ke ingaxazululwa kanjani le ndaba noma lolu daba.
And I will allow you the opportunity to go freely without being hindered. Then I will take a seat.
So kuvumeleke ukuthi uyiphendule nje ungaphazanyiswa. Ungaphendula.
Hayi lesimo ngiphasukwaso lapha mina sinzema kakhulu esayidini lami. Ngoba manje ngihamba icala ngapha ngikhoni cabanga kahle ngendlela efanele ngoba manje
the situation that I find myself in is a very difficult one, a lot, because on the one side I'm attending to this matter and I'm unable to think properly.
Proceed.
Okay, maqhubeka.
Lapha nihlala wedwa selini. Mohlala wedwa lapha isikhathi eside kakhulu uphuma 1 hour ye-exercise. Ngapha akuna radio, akuna TV, akuna lutho nje kukhona la.
There you are in solitary confinement. You only go out for an hour to go to exercise. There is no radio, there's no TV, there's just nothing.
Well, that sounds like a repetition of what is in the letter.
Yes,
I don't see the use of adducing that evidence if we agree that this letter has been read into the record. I thought whatever he has to say might be in addition to what is in the letter.
I'm sure ukuthi inkantolo ayifisi ukuthi kuphinde lokhu okulana ngoba ibekwe ilokho isidingo sokuthi kufundwe inkantolo yazi ukuthi kubhalweni la. So ungaphindi inkantolo icabanga ukuthi ngozoma kwakho lana ke uzosho okunye okungekho khona la ungaphindi ke ngoba sekufundile ukubhalela.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Lordship. Before you get incarcerated at Hoshimampuru, were you ever at any correctional center by chance?
Ngaphambilini kokuthi ke uzovalelwa ke khona la eHoshimampuru ke khona ke enye nje ijail noma ke correctional center la owawukuyona.
Yebo ngoba ngiza lapha bengisuka Johannesburg prison.
Yes, before coming here I was at Johannesburg prison.
When were you in Johannesburg prison first time?
Okokuqala ke wawuse Johannesburg prison nini okokuqala noma uqala kwakho base Johannesburg prison kwakunini?
Since 2015, May 9, February.
Since the 9th of February 2015.
Angise trial ase Johannesburg prison.
I was awaiting trial at Johannesburg prison.
In 27 July.
Okay.
Ngagwetshwa ngagwetshelwa futhi ngahlala khona ejele lase Johannesburg prison.
And then on the 27th of July 2017, I was then sentenced and I remained at Johannesburg prison.
Were you sentenced in the same matter or different matter?
Ingaba ke wagwetshwa kwelinye icala elahlukile kule noma kule icala?
Hayi ngagwetshwa ecala elinye elahlukile.
It was in a different matter.
Into ekhona nje kuleli isibhama bathi.
All right, sure. No, that's fine. Let him confine himself to the question, to the lady.
Uzocelwa ke ukuthi ulalele lokho okubuzwayo ubuse uphendula lokho okubuzwayo.
Yes. I'm satisfied with that. Is different matter. And then, as you were sentenced to serve in Johannesburg prison, were you serving your sentence where? Was it in the solitary confinement or in the communal section?
Emumva kokuthi ke wase ugwetshiwe ke wagcinwa khona lapho ke eJohannesburg prison. Ingabe ke nalapho wawukwisele la uhlala khona wedwa noma ke wawula undawonye kanye nabanye?
Hayi bengihlala nje community cell, ngihlala nabanye abantu.
I was at the community center. I was with other people.
Then how was the present condition in terms of, or insofar as the exercise is concerned?
Isimo khona lapho ke sasinjani ke ngokuphathelene
compared to where he is now?
Sasinjani ke isimo khona lapho eJohannesburg prison? Uma ke usubheka ke usuqhathanisa noma ke na la ukhona manje. Sasinjani ngale isimo?
In terms of exercise?
The exercise.
Besikhawunta ekuseni besivulele mabeqeda ukusikhawunta. Oze basivalele mase kuvala ntambama.
They would count us in the morning, open for us, and then they would take us back and lock us up later in the afternoon when we go back.
How many hours were you given in Johannesburg for exercise?
Johannesburg ngaba nani nikezwa ke wawunikezwa noma nani nikezwa amahora amangaki ukuthi ni exercise?
Noma ngingazo babe besivulela ngabo 7 so ze sibuyele ngabo past 2.
Although I wouldn't be able to know, but they would open up for us around 7 and they would lock us back around 2.
So now in comparison, that was the way in which you would wish to be treated as compared to here.
Uma usuqhathanisa ke indlela ke leyo ubungafisa ukuthi ke kungangayo uma ngaba usubheka esala isimo ukhona manje. Ubungafisa ukuthi kunga njengalesi simo lesoqeda usisho manje sase Johannesburg prison.
Yebo.
That's correct.
Were you allowed the reading material in Johannesburg?
Johannesburg ngaba bebenikeza ke incwadi zokufunda.
Hayi incwadi ziyabe ngene
Is it happening here?
Kuyenzeka lokho yini la?
cha kunesitolo sento zokugeza kuphela.
No, here you only get a shop where they're only selling bath material.
You know what I mean? Are you allowed to buy your own food?
Engikushoyo noma engifisa ukwazi kuwena ukuthi uyavunyelwa yini ukuthi uyithenge lokwakho ukudla?
Cha.
No. It's not allowed.
So you only depend on their own food there?
Ukusho ukuthi suphoqelekile ukuthi udle okwabo ukudla kuphela.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Are you allowed the chance here to take care of the health insofar as in Johannesburg? Were you able to do your washing?
Johannesburg ngaba bekuvumela yini ukuthi washing
clothes?
Ukuthi uyigezele ingubo zakho zokugqoka?
Yebo bengibashaya.
Yes, I did.
Do you do the same here?
Uyakwenza lokho la?
Cha.
No.
Were you allowed to visit in Johannesburg by
eJohannesburg
your family, relatives, and
Yes.
your lawyer?
eJohannesburg babekuvumela yini ukuthi umndeni wakho ummeli wakho beze bazokubona?
Yebo bebese.
Yes, they used to come.
Did the same happening here?
Ngaba lokho kuyenzeka yini la?
Hayi la kuyenzeka ka-2 ngenyanga nakhona ufika 30 minutes umuntu wakhona.
Here it happens twice a month and the person only be allowed 30 minutes.
So the general treatment of Johannesburg prison, insofar as your individual person is concerned, incarcerated person and sentenced person, can you say the difference as to where you are now in comparison?
Isimo sakho ke noma sendlela ohlala ngayo eJohannesburg nanjengomuntu ke owayegwetshiwe ke ungachaza ke ukuthi ke sehlukileke kunalesi esala ukhona manje.
For example, are you married?
Ushadile?
Cha ngishadile.
No, not.
But you are stable. Partners. Une partner.
Yebo mna.
Yes, I do.
So, and you've got the children.
Neyingane unazo?
Yebo mna.
Yes.
Yeah. So the typical example that I want to bring for your understanding is that, let's say, a child is not doing well or a child is sick. While you were in Johannesburg, would you get that courtesy of being given the message, personal message from home about the well-being of your family? And then compare that to here.
Asithi ke nkathi use Johannesburg bekunesimo la khona ke umntwana engaphathekile kahle ekhaya. Belikhona ke ithuba lokuthi lo mlayezo ke uthole noma ke usuka khona ekhaya kumndeni ke uchazelwe ke ukuthi kunesimo esikanjena umntwana akaphathekile kahle uma qhathakinisa lokho nala ukhona manje.
Hayi lebe ngikhona ukuthi ngifone everyday ngoba kunamafoni ama-public phone.
There I was able to make a call every day because there were public phones.
La ngihlala khona ama-public phone awekho.
Where I am currently at, there are no public phones.
So that response, actually, you are telling this court to say, I was in touch with the outside world in Johannesburg prison, as compared to here in Kosimampuru, whereby I've been distanced from the reality of the world.
Okushoyo ke ukuthi nkathi use Johannesburg prison ke ubukwazi ke uxhumana nalabo abangaphandle kodwa la ngikhona manje eKhosimampuru akwenzeki lokho.
Hayi khona kunzima la ngoba ngisho nje ingane zami akazange ngixhumane nazo since kusukela kwanyaka odlule.
Here it's very difficult because I haven't been in touch with my children since last year.
And how do you feel when you don't get to contact with your own family?
Lokho kwenza uzizwe kanjani ke uma ngabe ungakwazi ukuthi uxhumane nomndeni wakho?
Ngihlukumeza kakhulu ngiyangilimaza nasemqondweni. That's why ngingakhoni nokuthi ngifocus ecaleni ngoba manje ngihlala ngicabanga kakhulu ngezinto ezenzeka ngaphandle.
It's very much hurting and it's also disturbing me, which also results in me not being able to concentrate on that which is happening here because I think a lot about what's happening outside.
This place where you have been incarcerated, they are called correctional services. Let's go back to Johannesburg prison. Would you, when you explain to this court, say indeed Johannesburg prison was correctional service? There were attempts to correct me so that the day I get out of that prison door or prison gate, I'm indeed a corrected person. I'm a new person. As compared to the person that came in here, as compared to where you are now.
La ukhona ke noma uthi uma ngabe sekubiza noma igama abalisebenzisayo ukuthi correctional service noma correctional center noma la kuqondiswa khona ke igwegwe. Uma ngabe uthatha le ndawo ke kanti futhi nase Johannesburg ke ungathi uma ngabe uphuma khona lana uthi impela bengisendaweni la khona ke bengizoqondiswa khona ke futhi nanjengoba ngiphuma nje ngiphuma impela ngiqondile.
Ayi kunoshintsho kakhulu ngoba le ndawo iwenza ube nanenhliziyo embi kahle.
There's been a huge change because this place makes you have a hardened heart.
Makes you evil.
Hayi wenza ube nenhliziyo embi nje kahle kahle ushuthi
Just yes,
umuntu oyidelile.
just an evil heart is someone who just looks down upon himself.
What is your plea to this honorable court insofar as this situation? All right, before I come to that one, how did you come to be removed from Johannesburg, President, the place which it was trying to make you a better person?
Kwenzeka kanjani ke ukuthi uhanjiswe noma umikiswe eJohannesburg prison indawo ke eyayizama ukuthi ke ikwenzeke umuntu ongcono. Kwenzeka kanjani ukuthi ususwe khona?
Biba ngitshela nje ukuthi bangithatha ngoba nakho ngivukele icase ka Senzo Meyiwa.
I was just Okay. I was just informed that I was being taken away because now this case of Senzo Meyiwa has come up against me, and now they are bringing me this side. I don't know anything else.
Who is that person who broke that news to you?
Ubani ke owakulethela lezo indaba?
Amaphoyisa la afika ngoba ngifikela nge-4 December 2020. Iphoyisa lase Sun City lafika ngesonto nge-6 ngoba ngalali abengangithathelanga u-8 lebazi bakuthatha sengikhona la bafika ngesonto.
It was the police. I got here on the 4th December 2020, and the police arrived there on the 6th, it was on a Sunday, the 6th of December 2020. Okay, they came to take my A group because they said that you don't go into CMEX with the C group. Or into CMEX you go with the C group, not with the A group.
Can you just explain to this court to understand those dynamics of the correctional services?
Awuchazelele enkantolo ukuze ikuzwisise kahle ke kuloko kushoyo manje. Ukuthi uthini?
Open prison. Kuno A group, no B group, no C group.
Okay, bambe lapho ke. In open prison there's an A group, a B group, as well as a C group.
B group unokuthola ama ukuthi mhlambe uyifela charge into kanjalo.
Zama ukuthi B group, it's where maybe you have some further charges. Yebo?
C group uthola umuntu mhlambe ngithi wenza amaqala asejele.
And then with regards to the C group, it's someone who committed an offense or offenses inside prison.
La ngihlala khona kuno B group no C group.
Where I am, there's B group and C group.
So you said in maximum you are taken on the basis of when you are categorized under B and C group. That's how it happened that you find yourself in maximum today.
Uthi nanjengoba uyithola use maximum manje ngoba ke maximum ke bathatha uB no C.
Maximum kuno B no C la CMEX.
In maximum here in CMEX there is B and C.
CMEX kodwa maximum open prison ino A B C.
But in maximum where it's open prison there is A B C.
Where are you now?
Ukuphi wena manje?
Close maximum.
Close maximum.
Where you talk about the category B and C.
You have no B and C con?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have been incarcerated on a different matter, on a different case. You are J70 signed to Johannesburg prison. Am I correct?
Now njengoba ke ugwetshiwe elinye icala futhi uma ngabe sekusayindwa ke J70 yakho isayinelwa eJohannesburg prison noma ikhomba eJohannesburg prison. Ngabe kunjalo?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, when you were taken, or by any chance before maybe this, your transfer, were you by any chance being categorized as a B group or C? Both of them,
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg.
Ngabe ke eGoli noma eJohannesburg prison ke ingaba bona ke baba wawukuluphi ukuhlo wawuku B noma wawuku C?
Angeke A.
A.
Okay. By the way, you didn't explain A. What is A? Because B, that's when you've been sentenced. Then it happened that you've got another case that is still under investigation. And then C, that's when you become a villain yourself. When you are already in prison, you are committing crimes within the prison. You are already sentenced. So now what's A?
Umchazileke uB kanye no C, uA ke yini yena?
A ma usuhlala 6 months ejele uqeda ukugwetshwa uhlala 6 months kuyahlukana ngegwebo kwesinye unyaka emva kwalokho sebekunikeza A group.
Okay. A, it's after having been sentenced and it's after 6 months, about 6 months, and then it also differs based on the sentence that you are serving, and then you are then given the A group.
All right. When you were taken from Johannesburg prison, insofar as you are concerned after the sentence, you said earlier that you were in a communal cell. So, was there any, which would be, was there any pending case that was still under investigation against you after the sentence? And secondly, in terms of the C.
Ngathi kuseJohannesburg usuqedileke ugwetshwa. Mama ngamsuzuleke ukuthi isigwebo sakho sithini. Ingaba kukhona yini olunye uphenyo lelinye icala owawubhekene nalo ngemuva kokuthi usuthole isigwebo? Ukhona elinye icala olaziyo elalikade liphenywa ngawe? No, there was no pending case or no investigation.
Okay. By any chance, in terms of category C, while you were there and before you were taken, or at the time when you were taken from Johannesburg, did you commit any crime within the prison?
Ngathi ke useseJohannesburg prison njalo ke ngaphambili kokuthi uhanjiswe ulethwe khona la ePretoria. Ngaba khona yini icala walenza khona phakathi ejele usejele?
Alikho.
No, I did not.
So, if that is your answer, then your incarceration in maximum in Hosimampur, was it correct? Because you are not falling under B, you are not falling under C, but yet you are taken in the caption for which you don't belong to either of that category.
Uma ngabe kunjalo ke ngale mpendulo oqeda unikeza manje ke kusho ukuthi ke indlela ke noma uhlobo ke ovalelwe ngalo khona eHosimampur ukuthi le ndawo bakufake kuyona nje bakufake kuyona ukuthi akusiyona indawo ekufanele ukuthi ukuyona.
Yebo kunjalo.
That is indeed correct.
Okay. And when you are taken from one prison or one correctional center to other one, there are procedures that have to be followed. And very tightly so. In terms of the provisions of Section 43 up to 45 of the Correctional Services Act, before you could be transferred to another correctional center, you have to be examined by the medical practitioner. Did that happen?
Kunenhlelo ke noma khona ke imithetho ke ekufanele ukuthi iyalandelwa ke ngaphambilini kokuthi uthathwe ususwe kwijele elithize uhanjiselwe kwelinye ijele. Ufanele futhi ke ubhekwe ke noma uhlanganeke nodokotela ke akubheke ngaba kwenzeka yini kwesakhe isimo lokho.
Esensithi bangibuza nje ukuthi ngithatha treatment noma kwenzakalani ngathi cha ngithatha treatment.
In Sun City, they only inquired from me as to whether I was taking any treatment. I then said, no, I'm not taking any treatment.
Yeah, but that question isn't that related to if someone has got the allergy, so that they can know what kind of the food or how do they treat it. It's not in relation to the provisions I mentioned.
Lowo mbuzo ke ngabe akusiwona ke umbuzo nje la abafisa ukwazi ke khona ke ukuthi mhlasimbe khona yini okuhluphayo une allergy onayo noma khona nje ukudla engakufanele nje ukudle. Akusiwona umbuzo ophendula lokhu mina ngikubuza kona ukuthi wahlanganiswa yini nanje ngoba umthetho ke usho ukuthi uma ususwa kwelinye ijele usiwa kwelinye kufanele ukuthi bakuhlanganise nodokotela.
Yebo bangithatha bangisa eclinic la Sunset.
Yes, they took me to the Sun City clinic.
Before they transfer you?
Ngaphambi kokuthi bakulethe la.
Yes, same day ngalelo.
Yes, it was on the very same day.
They just approach you and take you to the clinic, but without in detail explaining the purpose of that exercise.
Ingaba bavele nje bakuthatha bakuhambisa bakusa eclinic ngaphandleni kokuthi bakuchazeleke inhloso yokuthi yini imbangela ukuthi bakuse clinic.
Abangithatha nje bangisa eclinic lapha bafike bangibuza nje leyo nto leyo yabo. Mase ngiphuma bangitshela ushifa selokuza Senzo Meyiwa.
Okay. They only took me to the clinic, and then they asked me that, and thereafter the chief or the head of Sun City informed me that I was going to CMEX.
I had to
Captain.
Yeah.
Okay, he's saying now the captain.
When was that?
Kwakwenzeka nini lokho?
May 4 December 2020.
It was on the 4th of December 2020.
Were we having the COVID on the 4th of December 2020? Were we still having the regulations?
Statement, the question.
I'm asking.
Okay. Ingaba ke sasise phansi kwemithetho ke elawula yona ke iCovid ngaleso sikhathi leso.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, on arrival at the Koshimampuru, were the regulations of the COVID followed in terms of taking you to the observation cell for 10 days, that hospital section?
Ingaba ngathi usufika ke khona ke khona la ePitoli eMkhosimampuru ke ingaba bayalandela yini imithetho yayo ke iCovid ukuthi bakuthatheke bakusekwisele la khona ke uyogcina khona ke amalanga awu10
At the medical section, hospital section.
Kule section ke yasesibhedlela.
Hayi ngafikela nje sectionini ngafika ngahlala kuyo. Ngafika eselini ngahlala kuyo.
No, I just went straight to the section where I was kept. I went to the cell.
That's where you are still staying there.
Uselapho namanje.
Sengisukile sengihlala kwenye section.
Now I've since moved. I'm now in another section.
But what you are telling this court is that you have never been taken for the observation, or there is a word, Your Lordship, when you're coming from America, you come to South Africa, you don't mix with the people. Quarantine, yeah, so. Were you ever quarantined? That section, was it meant for the quarantine, or you were just kept there?
Ingaba nje bakuthatha noma bekuthatha nje begcina khona lapho noma ke mase ngisebenzisa ke lona igama lesilungu ukuthi quarantine khona.
Abangithatha nje ngaya kwenye section.
No, they just took me to another section.
That's all that I needed this court to know. Or before I finish, is there any other thing that you want to tell this court?
Khona okunye officer ukuthi ungakutshela lenkantolo?
Yebo akho.
Yes, there is.
Kufika lapha nge 4 December 2020 ngafika ngashawa ngingazi ngangishawelana.
On my arrival there on the 4th of December 2020, I was assaulted, and I don't know to the reason why I was assaulted.
Ngachokwa nangogesi le shield le ugesi.
I was even electrocuted with the shield, electrical shield.
Ene ngaso sonke isikhathi hlala sigadwe ngazo lezi izinto lezi ama-shield.
At all times when we being guarded or looked after, we are guarded with those shields.
And ngiphuma ngesela everything ngifaswa ngey'nsimbi.
Each and every time that I am going out of the cell, I am cuffed with irons.
Ngathi uma ngibatshela ngendaba yokushawa kwami lapha ngibuza ukuthi bangishayelani.
When I informed them about me having been assaulted and also inquiring as to why was I assaulted,
Bangibuza ukuthi ngishawe ubani.
they wanted to know as to who assaulted me.
Emva kwalokho kushuthi sengihlele khona lapha bonke umuntu obengena lapha uyashawa ngabona ukuthi umthetho wakhona hlahla wonke umuntu uyashawa mayifika la.
And whilst I was now there, seated there, I would see that now each and every one or each and every person, when someone comes in, every person gets assaulted. So I just saw that, oh, this is how they operate. They just assault anyone or everyone.
And nje impilo yakho inzima owethi isikhathi ukuthi uhleli nangu umuntu uyakhala ngale seleni bamchoka.
And the life there is difficult because you are just seated there and then you are hearing someone in the cell is crying, that person is being choked.
And umphathi makangena ebusuku isikhathi esiningi nokungena ebusuku a-check-e mawuthi yamtshela umphathi yena uthi akayazi leyo nto.
And then the person who is in charge usually comes in at night to come and check. And when you inform that person about that, he will just say, no, I know nothing about that.
Lokho nje ukungiphazamisa kakhulu ngoba manje angikhoni nje uconcentrate esini.
It's that, my Lord, which is disturbing me, and as a result of that, I'm unable to concentrate on the matter.
So the present authority will tell this court that the reason you have been taken to maximum is because you've been assessed, you've been actually identified as that category to belong to that because you are a dangerous person.
Uzothi ke osebenze ejele ke noma uma ngabe seza ke ezonikeza ke ubufakazi noma esezochazela lenkantolo ke uzothi isizathu sokuthi ithathwe leso sinqumo ke sokuthi usiwe khona lapha yana ukuthi kwathi uma ngabe usubhekwa ke kwabonwa ke ukuthi ke ufanele noma kulungeleke ukuthi uhambe uyogcinwa khona ngoba nje ulo muntu nje onobungozi.
Hayi mina lokho angikwazi lokho.
I know nothing about that.
That's all you are, Lucy. Thank you.
We shall have a 5 minutes adjournment.
Let's please the court.
Yeah. Today we have had evidence from accused number 3 in this case. There were debates in the morning, and we ended up with accused number 3 testifying as he did. And as should happen in every case, if a person testifies under oath, it gives the other parties the latitude, if not the right, to cross-examine, which is where we should have been. It would have been where we find out whether Advocate Ncholo and Advocate Baloyi should, that one of them should cross-examine. The debate this morning, with regard to which I even differed with Advocate Ncholo, was about the relevancy of what we have just heard. I had the choice of allowing this to unfold forwards and knowing that it would be something near a charade sold to accused number 3 and everybody that is concerned in this trial. I have firmly decided that I cannot go that route. What propelled me from this morning is that I was made to understand that there are ongoings in prison which affect accused number 3, which have potential to threaten, if not to take away his life, if not his safety or well-being. I think his well-being is grievously affected, and if you wake me up in my sleep and ask me about it, I will say maybe this should not happen that way, but it's just me hearing about accused number 3 who is awaiting trial in a case before me. Most of what the testimony went about has nothing to do with the issues that are involved in state versus Sibiya. And I also remember now that it seems to be a repeat, because this was canvassed at the beginning, and I think I said something which I'm going to say again today, that the matter has to do with the way prison authorities are handling accused number 3, if not even more accused than just accused number 3, whilst this case is underway. And back then, I impressed it upon Advocate Tefo that if that be the case, then he should take it up in court, number one. If not, with the prison authorities, if he chooses to do so. But the impression he gave me today is that they may not even listen to him. But the issue, once they have not listened to him, the question is whether that matter comes onto this bench in this case. And thinking that I had right when I came under the impression that he is either being subjected to torture or assault, which is ongoing, which is threatening his life, other than the assault he claims to have received when he first arrived at Kosimampuru. I felt that I cannot go and have a good night's sleep knowing that there is a person under such conditions. over and above that, all that accused number 3 was testifying about, which I want to believe he has a right to voice, and about which I believe he has a right to be heard, has nothing to do with the case before us. When I said this at the start of this trial, I remember, if I'm not forgetting anything, that advocate therefore even told us that he will go to court to assert the rights of his clients. I even, in my understanding, I could have misunderstood him. In my understanding, I thought that he means that he's even prepared to launch an urgent case against the prison authorities, in which he will be asserting the rights of his clients to be observed. The circumstances of the incarceration of accused number 3 are double-fold. He is in custody because there is this case that is unfolding against him and others. Secondly, my understanding is that he is serving some sentence for a case. I even said back then that let us not delve into that, because before me, accused number 3 is supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. When I tried to assert that this morning, the retort was that his rights, the rights of accused number 1 to 4, will be suppressed if he is not given a say. And being a human being myself, knowing almost from first hand what happens in our places of incarceration, I felt this has to be given attention. Now I have given that attention. After giving that attention, nothing has been forthcoming that would justify me delving into it and coming up even with a ruling. It has to do with what happens to prison, to convicted inmates, what happens to awaiting trial inmates, of which I want to believe there are protocols that are relevant to that, and it's either they are being followed or they are not being followed. The tinge of relevance that I find is only that, to the extent that whatever is happening, it is affecting the ability of accused number 3 to master a formidable defense in his favor, because he is not together, he is not able to concentrate. That is cause for concern. But should it be a matter for this bench now in this trial, I think if it is a matter to be attended to, it will not be within these proceedings. And when I had way back Advocate therefore almost threatening, if not promising, to be in court about it, I said within myself, ride on, brother, you are on the right route. And only for this matter to now emerge the way it did today, and like I said, I should have been allowing Advocate Baloyi and Advocate Mshololo to decide what they do about the evidence given. But it will be, in all honesty, it will be parading a charade before everyone. And it will be giving false hope, even to accused number 3, to make him think that after it all, I will have something to say, and which is not the case. I will not have anything to say about the prison conditions. For what I know, they must be just, they must be in line with the law, they must be constitutional. If they are not, if he has a legal representative, that legal representative must do something about it as in yesterday. And as a result, I am not going to have this matter unfold further the way it is doing before me, because after it all, I will have nothing to say. I will be better informed about what he is experiencing. I might even sympathize with it. I might even scream against it, but that's the furthest I will be able to go. And therefore, with accused number 3 having testified the way he did, I am not even going to listen to cross-examination by Advocate Baloyi or Advocate Mshololo. I'm directing, as I do now, that this matter be relayed to the correct channels, even if the accused number 3, because there is mention in that letter about the ability or the wherewithal with which to challenge his situation. If he is not able to fund his protection against those circumstances out of his pocket, there are other avenues to get legal representation. But I would even urge whoever is responsible for his affairs to make sure to approach the prison, to approach court so that the prison authorities may be called upon to respond, to confirm whether he was telling the truth, or even to challenge it and prove it to have been untruthful, what he was testifying about. So as far as this so-called application today, which is not even an application, it's a letter that was written to this court. All I can say is my sympathy, but no thanks. I cannot make a ruling on it because it is not my sphere, it is not my periphery. It has not come before me in a way that I can be called upon to make any ruling on those issues. And whatever was mentioned about approaching court before, if I were anybody that was asked, I would say that should be the route to go. And if I were to be asked whether it is correct to have anybody in solitary confinement, I would say out and out it is inhuman, it is unconstitutional, but that's all I can say. It's my comment about solitary confinement. Having said that, the proceedings today, as far as the application is concerned, end here. I am ordering that we stop with what we were doing because it won't be useful and it won't produce any useful outcomes.
Kantolo-ke mfethu sithathe isikhuma ngako konke-ke bese kwenzekile-ke ngoba ngendlela-ke elitshelwe ngayo ekuseni-ke ukuthi isimo lesi-ke bekuyisimo esibucayi kakhulu futhi esibeka impilo yakho engcupheni. Kodwa-ke emuva-ke kokuthi ingakho-ke nenkantolo isithatha isinqumo sokuthi ayivume ukuthi le ncwadi ifundwe-ke. Kodwa-ke kubo bonke ubufakazi obethulile la enkantolo akukho nje okushoyo noma okuvezayo-ke noma ubufakazi obushoyo ukuthi impilo yakho ngempela isengcupheni ngokumayela nokushaywa-ke ukukushayo okhulume ngako yiloku othi kwenzeka ngaleli langa elilodwa ngathi ufika khona laphayana-ke indlela yokuthi-ke abasemajele-ke baphatha kanjani-ke abantu abagwetshiwe nabangagwetshwanga-ke le nkantolo ayikho-ke kwisimo sokuthi-ke ingathatha isinqumo okungakusho nje ukuthi uma ngabe kwenzeka lokhu yazulana nakho kodwa ummeli wakho nanjengoba futhi kubhaliwe encwadini ukuthi bazoya enkantolo-ke iyona ndlela-ke leyo efanelekile ukuthi aye enkantolo noma idluliswe-ke futhi uma ngabe ungakwazi-ke ukuthi ungakhokhela ummeli ukuthi-ke usebenzise-ke abe-legal aid-ke ukuthi kube yibona-ke abakusizayo kodwa inkantolo-ke ithatha isinqumo sokuthi-ke lolu daba lolu-ke ngeke ibisanikezela umshushisi ithuba lokuthi akubuze imibuzo kanye naye-ke u-advocate umsholo lokuthi nje le nkundla yanquma ukuthi-ke lolu daba lolu luyaphela khona manje lana emuva kokuthi ithe yalalela ubufakazi bakho obethulile.
As it please the court, Your Lordship, thanks for indulgence. As I've indicated this morning that I will address this court. That's in relation to what has happened insofar as the case number 3 is concerned, as how far my contribution can be. It's now opportune moment, Your Lordship, to inform this court that as the counsel of case number 1 to 4, I hereby inform the Honorable Court that I'm withdrawing as the counsel of case 1 to 4. I will no longer be able to can proceed in this court based on the harassment that I'm receiving from the state and from the court. The accused have been consulted and it has been agreed upon that based on what is happening to me, because I took it upon myself that I will represent them after I was approached, myself and my attorney, by their families as well as the Meyiwa family. At the time when I was approached, together with my attorney to represent case 1 to 4, I was a watching brief on the Meyiwa family insofar as case number 2 is concerned. 375 of January 2019. I will therefore retort back to my role as a watching brief of the Meyiwa family as appointed by Sifiso Meyiwa, the brother of the late Senzo Meyiwa, on case 375. Insofar as 636 is concerned, I'm a human being, Your Lordship. I've got the emotions, I've got the feelings. I deserve and I demand the respect. Not the demand of the respect per se. If I respect you, I expect the respect from you. That's where my demand is coming from. Because the respect is the reciprocal. It's not one way, it's two way. Give and take. The reason, Your Lordship, I can no longer be able to be in court and face you. There are serious allegations here, whereby you are accused number 1. Before I can even accept the case of 636 to represent the accused 1 to 4, there has been harassment that I should not be part of this case. From the police, from the NPA. I came into this case knowing what will be the consequence. On the 28th of April, when I was arrested before your court, Your Lordship, that was a plan. And the plan was hatched in the office of the President, the number one office of the number one in the country. That I'm a problematic advocate. I'm interfering with a plan that has been hatched, that my client should take the responsibility of the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, despite the fact that they were innocent. So,
I'm sorry, my lord, and I don't want to be rude to my learned friend, but we suggest, my lord, if my learned friend is going to withdraw, that he should just do so, my lord. I think it's unfair to malign institutions or you know, or other persons, my lord. I don't think it's proper. The people who don't have the opportunity to defend themselves.
no, Mr. Valoy, I'm the one withdrawing. Can you sit down?
Yeah, but can you talk about withdrawal? I've heard
Yes.
I have
It's
I've been
proper,
part
Your
of
Lordship,
harassing
that
you,
when I talk about
and I'm
withdrawal,
not going to listen to you on end.
what
You
is
are
proper-
withdrawing. You're part of the reason why you are withdrawing is because I am part of your harassment.
Yes.
Yes. And anything else?
No. Can I be allowed to say what I have
No.
to say?
No.
I don't have to say.
Yes.
I don't have that right to say.
You don't have.
I must
the
just say I
right-
withdraw.
You don't have the right to.
I must just say I withdraw.
to be irrelevant and go on end. You have carried the message, you are withdrawing, you have conveyed the reason behind your withdrawal. I'm not prepared to listen to anything else.
It's not about this, whether you listen willingly so. That's a decision that you take.
I am unwilling and I am not going to.
All right. So let me just say that. But maybe you are right. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Now is the opportune moment to inform this court that I'm withdrawing
Yes, you have done that. You
as
are repeating it.
the representative, former representative of the
Yeah.
accused 1 to 4.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ummeli ke bechaza ke izathu ummeli ngamangalelo wokuqala kufika kuyena ke owesine ukuthi ke akasaqhubeki ke noba ummeli wenu kulona ke lecala uyishilo ke izathu ila khona ke shiwo ukuthi ke angabeki ke izathu kodwa nje asho nje ukuthi yena akasaqhubeki nalo icala ikona ke lokho bekudlulisa ke angeke ngezisho ke ngoba inkantolo ayivumanga ke ukuthi kube izinto ezikhulunyana noma aqhubeka ukuthi azisho enkantolo kodwa nje ukuthi ke anise naye ke ummeli.
Advocate.
Your Lordship, before you come, in relation to what we submitted, Section 6, that as it has been agreed, the party, the state, and
Are you
accused 1
are you
to
still
4.
part of the case? I thought you withdrew.
No, can I be allowed to finish?
No, you can't
Say-
withdraw. It can't be riverbank. No, it doesn't go that way.
I know you don't want to hear what I'm saying. You're
Yeah,
so
I don't
impatient.
want to hear anything anybody says who has withdrawn. I don't want to.
Yes, fine, it's on record, it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Advocate Baloy, the advocate therefore is withdrawing, is announcing his withdrawal from the case.
Yes. As the court pleases, perhaps to first deal with the ruling that was made by the court regarding the evidence of accused number 3. Must say we had the same concerns, my lord, during the adjournment. I had a discussion with Advocate Mshilolo and we are going to raise the same issues. We also, I also conferred with correctional services and we agreed that the right procedure would have been by way of motion proceedings. So we were going to raise that aspect as well, my lord. And secondly, as far as the withdrawal is concerned, my lord, the case, as I mentioned this morning, has been postponed to the...
Let me hear Advocate Mshilolo first before we go to the postponement date. Withdrawal?
Withdrawal, no, I have no objection, my lord. I accept it as the court do this.
Advocate Baloy?
The matter has already been adjourned to the 5th of September. Now, obviously, accused number 1 to 4 will have to indicate what the plan is going forward. I suggest that maybe the matter be provisionally postponed to a holding date, so that on that date, accused number 1 and 4 can indicate what the plan is going forward, and maybe we can then take it from there.
Do you have an idea about the date?
We will have, in light of these recent developments, we will have to phone the office, my lord, to get a date.
My lord, I have a small suggestion here. Since the matter is a partly matter, that we continue with the reserve date, which is 5 to 16, and I'm hoping that in the meantime, accused 1 to 4 will be able to secure the attendance of their legal representative should they choose that, and then those legal representatives be given these dates as the new dates as the return dates for this matter, so that we don't lose these dates, my lord.
I also don't think we should lose the days, but I think to ensure that I don't want to come here on the date we are envisaging to find out that nothing has happened. That prison has not allowed anybody to consult anybody, or things like that, like those. I think the route of consulting with the DPP and at the same time making sure that if there's somebody who is coming on board, they are in a position to proceed on the date we are going to be here in September. I think that is the safest, rather than just to think of the date in September, which may not bring the outcomes which are amenable to this case proceeding forward.
If that is the case, my lord, I would suggest that we give a provisional date for the confirmation of legal representation.
Yes, remember what also should happen is that there should be transcription. Whoever is to come on board.
We have already requested the transcript, my lord.
Has there been progress?
Yes, my lord, we submitted the request sometimes in June, and that was on around the 14th, the 15th of June, with your secretary, and she did confirm that she will arrange that.
Okay. Maybe that will have to be followed up.
Yes, we gave her the dates.
Do you know anything about it?
Yes, I do. We did get the request for the transcripts.
Okay.
May I be excused, Your Lordship?
Well excused. Advocate Tefo, you derobe once you are out of the court. You don't derobe here before me.
Apologies,
The one alternative, my lord, is to identify a date on which this court will be sitting, and if the date is suitable to Advocate Mishololo, we can then postpone it to that date without further reference to our office.
Can you repeat that?
I was just thinking that if perhaps there's a date readily available now on which this court will be sitting, we can simply roll this matter to that date if that date will be suitable to Advocate Nshololo, and we can always arrange that maybe she be excused because she will not have much interest in that aspect of the legal representation of accused number 1 to 4.
Okay.
We can just get a provisional date
I
on which
think
this
any
court is
date,
sitting.
if we choose a Tuesday or a Wednesday, 3 weeks from the third week into the next coming term. I think that will, because in any case it will be just to check the coast with regard to possibilities of continuing further in this case.
Okay. Perhaps if we can just adjourn for 2 minutes, the court can wait in the corridor. We can just quickly sort it out between ourselves.
So we should have excused you. You can go back. You say for how long?
Just about 2-3 minutes, Mullah.
Okay.
Now date for accused 1 to 4 to secure legal representation. They're all in custody.
Please rise. Accused number 1 to 4, you were in court. What was being said ended up with your legal representative advocate therefore withdrawing.
Benikhona-ke enkantolo mangaloqala kufika kwesineke nizwile bekhulunywa enkantolo okwasekupholela ekuthini-ke ummeli wenu engasaqhubeka ukuthi animele.
The legal representation is a right enshrined and at your disposal in terms of the constitution of this country.
Ngokomthethosisekelo-ke wala eNingizimu Afrika-ke ukuthi nibe nommeli kuyilungelo lenu.
You even have the right to be prepared, and prepared in this context will mean that you should get a lawyer if you choose to get a lawyer, or you should choose to represent yourselves going forward. And if you choose to have another lawyer, you should be able to consult with that lawyer before we proceed.
Futhi-ke nelungelo lokuthi niyilungiseleleke ukuthi uma ngabe nizofuna omunye ummeli noma nizoyimela-ke kodwa uma ngabe nithatha isinqumo sokuthi nifuna omunye ummeli kufanele ukuthi nihlale phansi-ke nikhulumisane ngalo icala leli lokubathi-ke uconsulta nalowo mmeli loyo omusha enizomthola.
And for that, we are postponing this case to the date you had been mooted, being the 2nd of August 2022, so that in the meantime arrangements should be made, and I think I will urge Advocate Baloy to do all necessary for that to begin to happen, so that when we are back here on the 2nd of August 2022, there will have been progress. Otherwise, in any case, they should by then be having a legal representative, and that legal representative should be put in a position to be able to acquaint themselves or himself with this case if it will be the route of another legal representative.
Okuzokwenzeka-ke nanjengoba besenizwile-ke ukuthi ilanga-ke kuzobe zi-2 ku-August noma 2 kule nyanga ezayo-ke kuwona lo nyaka kumiselwa sona-ke leso sizathu ukuthi-ke uma ngabe nithatha isinqumo sokuthi nibe nommeli omusha ukuthi abe khona-ke futhi inkantolo isibhekise kuyena-ke u-advocate Baloyi ukuthi alekeleleke ukuthi enze isiqinisekiso ukuthi lawo malungiselelo-ke ayaqala ukuthi ngalelo langa ufanele ukuthi abe sele ukhona-ke ummeli uma ngabe kuzobe kuyisinqumo senu ukuthi-ke nizofuna noma nizofisa-ke ukuthi nibe nomunye ummeli.
Having said that, something I said at the beginning of this trial, your right to legal representation is not absolute. It has to find its place amongst the rights of others.
Ilungelo lenike lokuthi nibe nayo-ke ummeli kufanele ilungelo-ke ekufanele ukuthi litholeke indawo noma kwamanye amalungelo akusilona nje ilungelo elilodwa kodwa-ke kufanele lithole indawo kumanye amalungelo akhona.
In other words, if we go overly long without you getting another lawyer, it may happen, I'm not saying it shall happen in this case, it may happen that weighing up the rights of others who are involved in this case, we may even proceed with you unrepresented.
Inkantolo ayisho-ke nilalelisise kahle ukuthi lokho kuzokwenzeka noma kuzoba njalo-ke uma ngabe kodwa kuthatha isikhathi eside-ke ukuthi isikhathi sesiyahamba-ke akatholakala ummeli noma anibi naye ummeli kuzofanele kubhekekwe amanye amalungelo akhona abanye abantu nabo-ke abambandakanyekayo kulona leli cala. Lokho kungasho ukuthi ngafanele ukuthi icala liqhubekeke engekho ummeli kodwa-ke inkantolo ayitsho ukuthi yilokho okuzokwenzeka.
You had me addressing Advocate Baloyi because I expect him to bring the prison authorities up to speed to the reality that you may require another legal representative, and if that happens, you may require consultation with your lawyer or lawyers.
Nizwile-ke inkantolo uma ngabe ikhuluma-ke ibiza lona-ke igama lakhe u-Advocate Baloyi izathu-ke ukuthi-ke mase nifikelele lapho-ke ukuthi-ke batholakala abanye abameli noma omunye ummeli lokho kuzosho ukuthi-ke kuzofanele ukuthi yena-ke akhulume nalabo abaphethe ejele ngoba loyo mmeli noma labo bameli kuzofanele-ke ukuthi bahambe baye lana igcinwa khona-ke beyokhulumisana nani.
Even with all that has taken place, the position is still that all of you, including accused number 5 who has his legal representative here, you are still regarded as innocent until proven guilty or innocent as you are now.
Nonke-ke njengoba nimi phambi kwale nkantolo kanye naye-ke uMangalelwa wesihlanu onommeli ongowakhe-ke phambi kwale nkantolo. Inkantolo isanibona-ke njengabantu-ke abamsulwa-ke noma abangenacala-ke kuze kufinyelele kwisinqumo ekuzofinyelela kusona emaphethelweni noma kuthiwa isinqumo la kuthiwa khona necala noma aninacala kodwa phambi kwale nkantolo nazi-ke ukuthi le nkantolo akukho okushintshile kuko konke okushiwo namuhla. Inkantolo isanibona njengabantu-ke abangenacala noma abamsulwa-ke.
Do you understand?
Kuyezwakala konke lokho bafethu. Nizwile konke lokho kushiwo inkantolo? Nonke. Understood, my lord.
Do you need clarity on any aspect?
Kukhona enifisa ukuthi nje inkantolo imchazele kona enye icabanga ukuthi nje anikuzwisisi kahle kukhona la nifuna ukuthi nicacelwe khona ikhona nje into mhlasimbe enicabangayo noma nifisa nje ukuthi ni
especially accused number 1 to 4 because they are now on their own.
Inkantolo ikhuluma-ke futhi ummangalo lokuqala wesibili wesithathu wesine ngoba-ke aninammeli njengamanje so ikhuluma nani-ke isikakhulu kukhona nje okunye khona nifisa ukwazi nifisa ukuqona.
Mina baba ngiyakuza ukukhuluma enkantolo lokho ebhekisa ukuthi kuphela nami njengoba accused number 2 angazi uma ngifune ethi ngandlulisa isikhalo sami phambi kwenkosi enkantolo.
As accused number 2, I don't know whether I am entitled or whether the court would allow me to just to raise my consent to the court.
I wish I could. It's 4. By 3:30, you should have been out of here. But I heard what you said.
Inkantolo iyafisa ke ukuthi ibingakulalela ke. Uma sibheka isikhathi ke manje seku4. Bekufanele ukuthi 3:30 bekufanele ukuthi seniphumile ke manje khona la kule ndawo enikuyona ke. Kodwa inkantolo iyakuzwa ke lokho okushoyo.
It may mean that you'll do that through a lawyer if you'll get one. If not, you'll do that when we are back here on the 2nd of August.
Kungenzeka ke ukuthi lokho uzokwenza uma ngabe ke kungenzeka ukuthi njengoba kuzofaka isicelo ukuthi nithole ummeli noma abameli abasha ukwenze lokho ngommeli lo ozomthola noma ke ngalelanga leli icala elihlehliselwe lona 2 August lokho ukuzokusho ke manje ngicabanga ukuthi ngenxa yesikhathi ke inkantolo manje isisaba ukuthi ke usisikhulume into ngoba isho ukuthi bese kufanele ukuthi bese nihambile uzozenzela lokho uzokhuluma nge2 zika August noma nommeli yena ke uzokusho lokho ekushola wena. Thank you, my lord.
Having said that, this case is postponed with the accused in custody. The postponement is on a provisional basis. It's postponed to the 2nd of August 2022.
Lihlehliswa ke icala lihlehliselwa ke umhla we2 zika August lihlehliselwa sona ke izathu lokho leso inkantolo ibisishilo ngaphambilini. Siyabonga ke.
Anything else?
That is all, my lord.